Hey everyone, so I've been on almost every single major psoriasis treatment so far, from creams to pills to injections. Now some of them or most of them gave me some form of minor side effects, and one of them even affected my kidneys. But none of them were actually deal breakers. Given the opportunity, it's likely that I will still choose to go on these treatments. Let me explain why. Now I'm gonna start with the mildest side effects. In this category, they are mostly cosmetic but could be long lasting. For me, my skin is discolored from years of hyperpigmentation, it is patchy and uneven, and I don't think it's going to go away. This is most likely from long term topical use over many years. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't affect me, but it does affect how my skin looks. It wasn't really a reason to stop treatment, it's just a trade off, which I personally accepted, because topical steroids, when used properly, can be very effective. But some people may not be able to accept this, so take that into consideration when being on this particular treatment. Next, let me cover side effects that are physically uncomfortable, but not necessarily dangerous. When I was on acitretin, I experienced extremely dry skin. My fingertips cracked, and over time it started to hurt when I pressed down on things. Now, moisturizing helped only a little bit. What actually fixed it was just stopping the medication, because once I stopped, the dryness went away. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it permanent? Not really. Would I take it again knowing this? Probably not, but at the time it made sense. Now we move beyond skin deep. These are side effects that will require further monitoring. When I first started cyclosporine, I had headaches, diarrhea, and nausea. I was going to the toilet a lot and just didn't feel great overall. But these are common early side effects. I pushed through, and once my body adjusted, they went away. This was a case where the benefits outweighed the short-term discomfort because, as you know, cyclosporine did incredibly well for me. On methotrexate, I experienced muscle aches and constant fatigue. At first I thought I just wasn't sleeping enough, but even with more rest, the tiredness stayed. I felt lethargic throughout the day with very low energy. Luckily, this improved after a few weeks as my body adjusted once again. If this hasn't improved, I would likely reconsider treatment, because you would also have seen from my previous videos that methotrexate didn't actually do that well for me. But since these side effects were just temporary, I stayed on it. Now let's get into the side effects that actually changed my treatment plan. I'm going to go back to acitretin because beyond the dryness, I started to develop joint pains. At first it was mild, but over time it worsened and began to affect my mobility. At that point, continuing it didn't really make sense anymore. My dermatologist also agreed and advised stopping completely, and once I did, the joint pains went away. That was the correct call. And finally, I'm going to talk about the most serious side effect that I had, and one that you can't actually see. This happened when I was on cyclosporine, which is a very potent medication. It's FDA approved for short-term use only, usually up to 1 year, and before starting, a full blood test is done to establish your baseline numbers. One key marker that the doctors and dermatologists will closely monitor is creatinine, which reflects kidney functions. After being on cyclosporine for a while, my levels started to drift upwards, and when that happened, my dosage was reduced immediately, and I was tapered off shortly after. But here's the important thing: once I stopped, my kidney numbers returned to normal. And this is exactly why monitoring is important and exists for a reason. It is not there to scare you, but to help you catch issues early on before permanent damage happens. So why do I not consider these side effects as deal breakers for me? Well, because these side effects were monitored and any decision that was made were data driven. The treatments that started to give me problems were adjusted early on, and the benefits at the time of using these medications outweighed the risk. And I felt that it was okay to continue, along with the advice from my dermatologist. Side effects don't automatically mean that your treatment has failed. What matters is how they are actually actively managed. Now, at the end of the day, these are just some side effects that I have personally experienced. Take note that everyone will react differently. If you are starting treatments, follow your dermatologist's instructions, never ever skip your blood tests and your checkups, and speak up early if something feels off. Have you experienced any major side effects yourself? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, that's all I have. See you in the next one.